Hey there guys, CMO73 here, bringing you the next spoiler coverage for Echoes of the New World. We are looking at fire and wind stuff, primarily Will of Hope cards to go along with our friend the book. So pretty interesting stuff, a lot of recurring characters just kind of being re-brought back, which is nice, you know, some nostalgia feel here. So we're starting off with Fei Li, who's never really been, she was introduced in Curse of the Frozen Casket, but she's never really done much. And she's Fei Li, Genius Ripoff Artist, so a 3-drop, 4/8, Will of Hope. And she does pay red and tap, and put token copy of another target resonator you control into your field. And at the next end of turn, that token's controller banishes it. So she clones something. So she can pay 1 and tap herself to then clone something, which will trigger that thing's enter effect. Or when this card enters, you know, because it does say into your field. So, which is pretty interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how well she synergizes. I definitely think she's probably better post-rotation. But, you know, if you can keep her around and clone things like Captain Hook, or an Amit, or a Griffin, or anything big, or an Izanagi, you know, something like that to quickly remove some stuff just for 1 will, that'd be pretty cool. So she's definitely a support card for a bigger resonator, though. Then we have Red Riding Hood, Rainbow to the Heavens. She's a 1-drop 4/4 Fairy Tale with Will of Hope. Pretty good stat line for a 1-drop. And she has Seal 3. And so if you have 3 or more Magic Stones, or you unlock the Seal, she gains Flying and Swiftness. So 1-drop 4/4 Flying Swiftness Fairy Tale is pretty interesting. Can be definitely used to kind of close out the game. So I'm interested to see exactly what comes out of that, or how it's used for aggro or anything else like that. But suddenly on turn 3, you know, playing 3 of these all at once, suddenly that's 12 damage in the air, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Nyarlathotep, the Realized Truth. And I don't know if I've noticed this before. It looks like the sigil here in the artwork is changing a little bit. It looks like it's kind of glowing a little bit better, which might be cool. So Nyarlathotep, the Realized Truth. 2-drop 4/6 Human/Cthulhu. Will of Hope. It has flying. It says release the seal abilities of fire cards and spells you control. So she just kind of unlocks, you know, just like Pandora unlocked stuff, everything. Nyarlathotep does the same thing for red cards. So, and for 1, she can deal, sure, she can give something plus 200 attack and minus 200 defense, which is pretty interesting. So, definitely wondering what actually comes out of this, but we'll have to see what other red support or the red ruler is for this set. Then we have Rainbow Arrow, so a 1-drop red quick cast, 400 damage to target J res, but if you rest a recovered Red Riding Hood, the Rainbow to the Heavens, the one we just saw, it also deals 400 each resonator other than the target that your opponent controls. So it becomes like a pseudo mini board wipe for 1 and rest a dude. It's definitely very interesting. Could couple really well with Bear Magic. So like against like Turbo Thief, say you play your Red Riding Hood, and then you go like on their turn, you go Bear Magic, go Gwyber, rest my Red Riding Hood, play this thing, kill all your dudes and your Gwyber. Very interesting. I have to see exactly what comes out of it, but definitely wondering what's going to happen there. Next up, we have Blazing Floating Castle Refarth. So Refarth is back to being a, it's gone from being wind to being a addition to being neutral to being a floating. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. So 1 red, 1 colorless addition. J-Res you control can block J-Res with flying, so that's pretty neat. And it has Seal 7. And once it gets released, it just becomes a repeatable Thunder. 500 damage by tapping it to target J/Res. That could potentially be really cool when you imagine having this kind of repeatable removal over and over again, and you have Nyarlathotep to be able to release it really fast. So play this on turn 2, play Nyarlathotep on turn 3, suddenly you have a repeatable Thunder until the end of the game, which is pretty neat. Then we have Melfi, the Child of Refarth. So 1-drop 1/1 elf. Whenever another elf enters your field, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So this is obviously used for elf tokens with V-Sing. Play that second card, get an elf token, bam, Melfi's bigger. Kind of saddened to see her go from being such an awesome card in her 2-drop form to this. But again, you know, we'll have to see exactly what comes out of it. So who knows, maybe elf spam becomes much more powerful. Then we have the Gale Force Pursuer Christie. So 2 drops, 5/6, 1 green, 1 colorless, elf, Will of Hope. When it enters the field, remove target Darkness Resonator from the game. So we used to have an effect like this in Grimm, the Fairy Tale. Kind of cool to see it come back in the form of Gale Force Pursuer Christie. So I'm definitely excited to have that kind of access to a card like that. So pretty cool stuff. But that is it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these cards. Are they support cards? Can you imagine yourself putting them in a deck? If so, what kind? What other kind of stuff do you want to see with Will of Hope? And what do you think the counter is going to be? Will of Despair, maybe? Or like what those cards are going to be like in Will of Despair? But go ahead and leave a comment down below, like and subscribe as always, and until next time, this is DMO73, signing off.